classical combination of a Sankaku triangle, a front triangle, with this Kimura tie-off, okay? Very strong combination. A lot of points that you could intersect and do different techniques on. We're just going to kind of go through a basic route. You guys will check it out, okay? First is down in turtle position here. Okay, we're going to enter a front triangle. So he's in a turtle. My palm is going to go up in the belt, and my palm is going to go in his neck, okay? And I was taught to like drag the person to open up some space. Essentially, you want his elbows to separate from his legs. So in this position here, let's actually turn this way. In this position here, you can see that my heel is going to drive and collect into his armpit. My heel. Okay? It might be kind of hard to see too, but my knee is trying to touch my heel. So I'm in partial seiza with my one foot. Right, that's going into his neck and his collarbone. My other foot stepping over, and I'm dragging my heel into his armpit. I'm trying to get my heel to touch my knee. Okay, that's what we're trying to get. So when we reverse it a little bit, you see that when I drag him, you can see that I connect everything here. Okay, we're really trying to get your heel to touch your knee here. So I'm going to turn the other way, but this is what I'm doing with my feet. Okay? So I drag the person, I get my knee to touch my heel, and we sit through. Okay? Same entry here now for that tie off. I'm going to reach with my limb advantage, 2 hands in. All right, I'm going to pry my elbow, his elbow up. My plus side hand, right? Plus sign is this spine here. My forearm, let's turn this way 1 second. My forearm's going to intersect his spine, making a plus sign. The intersection hand comes through. Okay? My hand paints his wrist. I grab my own wrist here. And my heel is still touching my knee. In this case, I'm going to tie off. I'm going to use the Kimura tie off before I get the Sankaku. So it's a small motion, right? My inner wrist never loses contact with my opponent's wrist. If I want to get the belt, if I want to get the skirt, it doesn't matter, right? It's a small sliding motion, and I collect that grip, okay? In this case, I'm going to use this belt here. Now we're ready to fall for the triangle, okay? I'm going to fall towards the side that my foot is up. In this case, it's my right foot. My right foot is up. So I fall towards that side here. Okay? I have the Kimura tie off still, and you could see that I just closed I just closed my feet. Don't worry about where your triangle is yet. We just want to catch the position. Okay, so I close my feet. With this Kimura tie off, because we secured it before the triangle, we have a lot of options here. If for some reason this position goes completely south and he gets his leg and arm out, right, we're just going to come up and take the pin. We could just reverse everything, keep the Kimura tie off, and just come to an osai komi here. Okay? If that's not the case, and we still want to go for the triangle, it's still possible. We're going to go over the triangle details here. Okay? First, I'm going to get his sleeve here. So multiple things could happen. Maybe the arm is away. You could use your top leg, almost like a hamstring curl, to collect this sleeve. So sometimes when you land, this elbow will be far away. Under your feet a little bit, and you could almost kickstand this sleeve to you, right, with your top leg. Okay? Once you get that sleeve grip, now we're going to make this triangle super tight. Okay? Once we get this sleeve grip, I'm going to kick my hamstring, my top hamstring, I'm going to kick my heel out. The same time I kick my heel out, I'm going to pull his sleeve in the opposite direction. Okay, I'm pulling his sleeve and I'm kicking my heel. Okay, last thing, my bottom foot, it should feel like he's on a pillow. So sometimes, right, just to show you, you don't want your leg to be under his upper back. Right, this is not going to work. There's too much of his body in there. The adverse is also true. You don't want to just have only his head and now his neck's on the mat. There's no triangle there. You want this bottom leg to literally be like a pillow. So if you land kind of oddly, and maybe he's kind of on your upper back, while you're adjusting the top and pulling the sleeve, this bottom leg is also going to kind of fall, and you're going to feel a nice key turnover. So if in doubt, just kind of feel like, yeah, there's a pillow. And then you could build around that because we're just practicing. You could always build a triangle around that with your partner and say, oh, there's that bottom leg. Okay, so this is the time where we kind of tweak our body to maximize the efficiency of the triangle. Okay, so here we are. I collect the sleeve. I grab it, I kick my top heel, and I pull this sleeve back. At the same time, if this leg needed to be adjusted, I will make the adjustments. Okay, my top leg is going to go back, right? And now it goes behind my bottom knee here. And there's that triangle, the sankaku, right? We just closed the sankaku here. And this is kind of confusing for some people sometimes, what leg goes where. My top leg goes back and under my bottom leg. And that's how we close a basic triangle here, okay? If you notice too, right, my hips and my belt knot is actually facing Ryan's legs here. So my hips are perpendicular, or my hips are on a side here. Okay, it's hard to do a triangle. If my belt knot's to the ceiling, you can see how my entire trajectory changes and the triangle is not going to work. So when I fall to my side, we want my hips to be right to the side. So your belt knot should be on his shoulder here. Okay, now let's look at this again, just so just sure we have it. Just close your feet when you land here. We still have the Kimura tie off. If you lose everything here, just go for the osai komi. But we're going to go for the triangle. I use my top leg to kickstand the sleeve. I get a nice sleeve grip. Do not grab inside, right? In judo, it's illegal to grab inside. So make sure you grab the outside. Now think about two different angles. I'm going to rip this sleeve back in the opposite direction. I'm going to kick my heel forward. And that's where we kind of synchronize and get everything tight on this triangle. So I kick and pull. And you're going to feel that nice groove turn over. My top foot is going to go back, point my foot down, open up your leg, and the closer you could get your foot to the bend of your knee, the tighter the triangle. Okay, so really try and like dig and kick and close that triangle. Now it's tight. Okay, we could stay here. I could squeeze the triangle, knees together, get the tap there. I could also come up for the osai komi with the triangle. Okay? I'm going to swim, get my chest to the mat. My arms are going to come through and come up. Right? And that's a pin and a triangle. Okay? One of my favorite finishes from here. We have the triangle. We have the Kimura tie off. There's a shoulder lock that's sitting right here. I'm going to make a C with my hand here. I'm going to put that C on his wrist. And with this grip, I'm going to make his forearm paint my IT band on my leg and drive his arm down. Very sneaky shoulder lock here. A lot of people will think about the osai komi. They'll think about getting their arm out. They'll think about the triangle. But I'm telling you, this basic C grip, don't open the arm up. Don't move the arm too much. You want his forearm on the outside of your thigh. Stick it to the outside of your thigh. Push his hand towards your knee. Easy tap, right? Ippon, we're on to the next round, or we can start the round again. So again, once we're here, everything's tight. C grip. Grab the top of his wrist. I want his wrist to touch your leg and slide it slowly down. We'll get the tap there. Everything goes south. Hey, kicked everything off. Keep the Kimura tie and just sit up and finish in the pin. So again, we're just showing you the Kimura tie-off is one of the most devastating systems.